Yeah.
And it's just like, there's not really one particular thing making it tick.
Right. And it looks like Justin over here has a Liliana the Veil in hand, a Fatal Push, some lands, and I didn't see what the other spell was.
I didn't get to see it either. It seems pretty okay against Hardened Scales.
So there's a Hardened Scales turn 1. That's the pretty common start for that deck.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it wants to do. Obviously why the deck is named after it. I know personally that Dakota is on a slightly different version of the Hardened Scales build this week. He put in a few cards. You might be able to see in his hand he has an Ornithopter. 0 mana, 0/2 flying artifact. Pretty easy to... I think his main reason is to help enable Metalcraft on his Moxes.
Oh, okay, yeah. We saw that last week where he went to go tap it and couldn't.
Yeah. And then it's also pretty good with Steel Overseer. You see right here, it's like 0 mana. Oh, I can start putting counters on a flyer.
So what are the 2 cards in Justin's hand that are next to the Fatal Push and the Liliana?
I actually don't know. I think that's Dark Confidant.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
There's so many different... There's a few different arts of
There's
Bob.
2, I believe, and it looks like he has like the promo old school, or the new one, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it didn't look like the purplish Bob I'm used to. So
all right, so here we got another kind of quote unquote spice from the Hardened Scales deck in the name escapes me for some reason. The equipment that is normally an artifact in Affinity. It's gonna pump up this thing to be really big, but Justin does have the answer in Fatal Push right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Stop them from taking anything. And now I think do we see the Liliana come down here, or do we just he just drew an Inquisition?
Liliana's pretty good because since he's tapped out, he can't animate his Blink Moth in response to sack it, so he's gonna get the Steel Overseer for sure.
Yeah.
He'll probably die. The Liliana will probably die to the Ink Moth next turn, but that means that Dakota's using his mana to answer the Lily and not progress his board, probably. So,
most likely, yeah.
So it's like not super great for Justin, but it's also just like not bad.
Yeah, I also think it's pretty bad for Dakota because he is on the mulligan.
Yeah, he's on a mulligan. So just like Jun is doing what it wants to do and is just like managing his opponent's resources really well.
And so also if he makes Dakota take this turn off, this Inquisition just becomes better because now Dakota's not going to really be able to play much.
Right. So whatever was in his hand, and then the card he drew is definitely there. So
it just looks like Justin's just drawing lands too, which is not
super great.
Yeah.
But he does have the Raging Ravine, so eventually he'll be able to fire that up, and that's how he's gonna probably kill him.
Yeah.
So you see here, he does fire off that Inquisition, and he sees the Ravager in his hand. And obviously the other thing is the equipment. So now he just like he can still equip the Blink Moth,
but it does come unequipped.
It will become unequipped, so he has to do it every turn.
Knowing that he's not going to be taking much, Justin playing Bob here, pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously they build their deck so they won't take a bunch of damage off of it.
Right.
So he's looking to just like get enough card advantage out of the next 2, maybe 3 turns.
Yeah, and especially because he's drawn, I think, 3 lands here so far. Filter off the top of the deck and hopefully not draw a bunch more lands.
Yeah. All right, so you see Dakota here is activating, and he's probably going to equip it up and just try to get him dead as quick as possible. He's just all in on this Ink Moth, which right now, since he's tapped out, is probably the best thing he can do.
Yep. And then it comes unequipped, and let's see what Bob hits.
He did get a Darksteel Citadel, which is good for the equipment.
Another land.
Ooh, that's like the best thing. Assassin's Trophy.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's going to give him another land, but honestly, Dakota doesn't need another one. So like giving him another one isn't going to do much.
And if you're getting rid of the Blink Moth, like, go get a basic.
Yeah,
you know? It's a 2-drop kill your land. Creature and force out a basic. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And especially like seeing his board right here, and like saw that he didn't have anything else in his hand. He's basically like getting rid of his only creature too. So it's like the best scenario for the Assassin's Trophy card. I've heard that is like a lot of a diehard green-black X players, Jund, Absin, what have you. They don't really like it.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't really personally personally, I don't like giving my opponent lands. Here it's nice because you're getting rid of a land and giving him a land.
Right.
It's not that bad. But when you're killing like a planeswalker or something and then giving your opponent a land, it just feels bad sometimes.
Yeah, it's actually like the worst on curve, which is weird because you're like, oh man, it's only 2 mana and destroys anything. That's awesome. And it's like, yeah, but if you do it on curve, then you're just ramping your opponent into scarier things.
So off the 2 Bob triggers, we saw a Culligan's Command and a Swamp. Culligan's Command seems good all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that card's just always really good, especially against this deck, because most of the time it's just 2 kill spells. Yeah, so it's like super good. And he keeps getting land, which is good for the fact that he's revealing them off of Bob, but bad because he just has like 4 more lands in hand.
Yeah, like that's like all that's in Justin's hand other than the Culligan's Command right now. I think he has
in the Assassin's
Trophy, yeah. But
so he does have like pretty much. So at this point, like this is kind of where Jun wants to be, where he's like he has pressure. It's not a whole lot just being 2 Bobs right now, but he eventually will be able to start animating his lands, and then he just has like answers to everything his opponent can do.
Yeah,
in his hand. I mean, so he's like denied as much resources as possible, and now he's just on the keeping you down while I kill you.
Yeah, I think he's in the perfect spot right now.
I don't really see Dakota being able to draw anything to bring him out of this.
Yeah, we just hope that Justin just is hoping that he doesn't see a 4-drop.
And like, oops, I just revealed 2 4-drops from Bob's, and now I'm in like lethal range. Yeah,
I'm assuming he would play Bloodbraid Elf.
It's definitely a possibility.
I know a lot of decks aren't, and some are. So
yeah, I think a lot of the decks that I've seen, they either play Bob or Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, because of that exact reason.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem good.
Yeah, no.
Like if he went to his upkeep here or his draw step and then real double Bloodbraid Elf and just take 8. Yeah, it just seems bad.
For sure.
So
I think what's going on right now is it's on Dakota's turn. He's probably thinking of whether he wants to activate this Ink Moth and equip it up to try to get in damage, or if he wants to equip the Ballista to try to keep it like alive, quote unquote. With the Culligan's Command in hand, it kind of doesn't matter because he can just straight up destroy an artifact. Also, the Assassin's Trophy gets to straight up destroy anything.
Yeah. So I assume he's going to target Blink Moth here.
But yeah, for sure. That's like the best thing.
And then you go get a basic. It comes in untapped.
Woo.
Do you think with that untapped land, he's going to try to equip the Walking Ballista?
Probably.
Yeah.
It seems like he's got nothing else to do.
And then Justin just fires off Culligan's Command in response.
Yeah.
But then do both his Bobs die? Does he just ping both the Bobs?
Probably.
I mean, I don't see why not.
In Justin's position, that's fine. Yeah. He's at like kind of a medium life total, so he's like, all right, I can take like 1 or 2 more shots off of Bob. But being that Dakota has like nothing in his hand, he has 1 more card in his hand. He's just like, Justin's in a spot to just be like, oh, you killed my 2 things. I'm just gonna hit you with Raging Ravine like 3 times and kill you.
Yeah. It looks like he's gonna fetch it end step, so he did not equip it.
He didn't. It seems a little. I don't know. Like unless he has. I don't know. I don't think he plays Nature's Claim in the main, so I don't know what he could be holding that mana for. Maybe he just didn't see it, or I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, at any time he could still just fire off to try to kill the Bobs. So maybe he's like, Dakota might be thinking, hey, rather than try to provoke Justin into doing something, I'll wait, and then if he goes to draw step, reveals the cards, then kill it, and if he tries to do 4, I'll just do it anyway.
So it looks like he went end step fetch, and now is going to fire off the Culligan's Command.
Yeah, he's trying to do shock the Ballista and then destroy the artifact or the equipment, which is going to basically leave Dakota with nothing.
Yeah, I mean he has a Hardened Scales.
Yep.
And a Pendlehaven.
I mean, the best, and like those 2 things like non-bow in this deck, because the only thing that Pendlehaven's gonna pump is like an Arcbound Worker, but as soon as it comes in a 2/2 because of Hard Scales.
It does Ink Moth and Blink Moth, so
sure he could draw one of those, but I think that might be too slow.
Well, in the past games that he's played here, he's won on the back of Ink Moth Nexus more than not, I think.
That seems like something that'd be pretty common with this deck.
And so I think I didn't see Pendlehaven in the past weeks, so I think it's something he added just because he was winning.
No, it's been in there.
That.
I think he's on 1.
Okay.
So that might be why you haven't seen it. I know he's on 1. Just because I know he's playing the art that I was playing before I got the promo ones.
Yeah, so Justin went to 4 because he revealed Swamp and Liliana the Veil.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Off the Bobs. So, nope, there's a Scavenging Ooze. So, I mean, that's going to keep him in this game.
Yeah.
Let's gain some life, right?
Yeah, like, pretty much the only way Dakota was winning after that turn was, like, and this is probably what his thought was, because he obviously didn't kill the Bobs. So he's thinking, all right, I'm going to shoot you and hope your Bobs kill you.
Yeah.
And now that he has a Scavenging Ooze, that's just probably not going to happen.
Probably not, yeah.
I've been in that position before where you're like, oh, man, you have Bobs on the field? I hope you kill yourself.
Right? Yeah, the only thing I think I would have done for Justin here is I would have played the Swamp first to tap it for the Scoos because leaving up an extra green source.
Right.
He does to gain some more life.
Yeah, he also didn't tap his Blood Crypt, which doesn't produce green. So I would have done like Stomping Ground Blood Crypt to pay for it, but
or some variant of that, you know?
Right.
I also think he wants to play the no, he's just going for the Scoos.
Yeah.
All right. Doesn't seem bad. Now he's just left with 1 black source.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
black red source, you know.
Yeah. Honestly, he's at enough of a life total where like
just gonna beat you for 4 here.
Like the worst thing that could happen. The only way I see him losing now for sure is like Dakota off the top hits like Walking Ballista, shoot you, and then again hope your Bobs kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that's what Dakota was going to try to do is just add a counter to Walking Ballista, hoping that Justin didn't have an answer, or hoping, you know, I hope you have all lands in hand.
Right.
So I can untap and just kill you with my Walking Ballista, and he's just going to scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Scavenging Ooze just got real big.
I think it actually just kills him this turn.
Oh, yeah, it does.
All right, here for sideboards. We'll go on Justin's side on Jund. He has 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Collective Brutality, 1 Thrun the Last Troll, 1 Pulse of Marasa, 1 Ancient Grudge, 2 Anger of the Gods, 2 Fulminator Mages, 2 Kitchen Finks, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, and 1 Engineered Explosives.
So what do you think he brings in?
That's actually a pretty hard one. Obviously
just
Ancient Grudge, because it just kills artifacts.
Yeah, does he want life gain?
Maybe.
Like Kitchen Finks, Brutality
Kitchen Finks is probably fine. Brutality, I don't think is enough. I mean, it is like on turn 2.
Yeah.
But past that, like usually their dudes are a little too big for -2/-2 to kill them. But I could see like Anger of the Gods maybe being able to sweep the board for 3 is pretty relevant. And then probably Engineered Explosives as well, because you can put it on like 1 and blow up their Hardened Scales and their like Arcbound Workers and stuff.
Yeah, this doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah. On Dakota's side, Hardened Scales, 1 Karn Scion of Urza, 3 Damping Sphere, 2 Tormod's Crypts, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 3 Dismember, and 4 Nature's Claims.
I actually kind of like if he would bring in the Karn here, because if it resolves, it's just card advantage,
right?
Especially because Justin's goal is to just strip their hand away. If he can just top deck a card and play it, and then get that card advantage,
right?
Sure, Justin knows what it is, but it's, you know, he puts a card under it, and then you minus, and then you get to cast it.
Yeah, exactly. You get to like start like not being 1-for-1, because that's what you're doing. They're like 1-for-1ing you, and then until they can just like finally have one thing that kills you. And when you're like kind of making up for that, it just makes it a lot harder for Jund to finish that game plan. Other than that, there's really not much here. No,
Maybe
honestly,
Dismember? No,
not really. I mean, we didn't see Tarmogoyfs, we didn't see Bloodbraid Elves.
Yeah.
So the only thing that really like that we've seen is Bobs and then like the Manlands. And sure, it could kill a Raging Ravine from getting out of control.
Yeah.
But honestly, if he's hitting you with Raging Ravine and not leaving up mana, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
So
pretty accurate.
Yeah. And then the rest of his deck is like targeted hate against certain decks. Like obviously Tormod's Crypt, Grafdigger's Cages are for like Dredge, Bridgevine, other random graveyard decks. Damping Spheres like Storm, Tron, I guess. Nature's Claim, the Mirror. So like against just like pure Jund, it's like they don't really have anything.
Yeah. I also really like Pulse of Marasa. I don't know if it's good in this matchup, but I just like the card in general.
Yeah, I was playing 1 in the sideboard of Infect for a long time. I just randomly had a foil one, and I was like, this card's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was good against Burn, which was like one of a bad matchup for me.
It's instant speed, gain 6.
Gain 6 and get a creature back.
Yeah. It's creature or land, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
So, I mean, it's like... Not here,
mana.
it's not doing anything.
Yeah, no. Like...
I mean, unless he is really like, man, I really need some life gain, but
yeah.
He's got scoozes. I think he's fine.
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely fine. Do you think he leaves all the bobs in, though?
He probably cuts some number at least.
Yeah.
Because, like, Dakota is an aggressive deck. You couldn't tell from that start.
Right.
But,
yeah.
like, there are hands where he just, like, on turn, like, 3 has, like, 12 power on board or something.
And to be fair, I mean, he did have a mulligan there, and I don't
yeah.
He was pondering that keep for a decent amount of time. He was really thinking about it, because he's just like, man, this hand really isn't good enough.
Honestly, that would have been... it would have been fine if he was able to keep the Arcbound in hand.
Yeah.
But, Justin snatched it, so...
Yep.
So yeah,
that's what Jund does.
It is.
I heard a quote today. A guy was playing a 5-color deck, and he said it's 5-color Jund, and he goes, "Jund isn't a color grouping; it's a state of mind."
Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean, that's why there's the saying of "when in doubt, Jund him out."
Yeah.
So it's just like that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, just take people's cards and play value creatures, right?
Yeah, you just
value.
You just say this card deals with one of your cards.
Yep.
And sometimes 2.
Yeah, like Mulligan's Command.
Mulligan's Command, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that's odd, I think, that I don't believe I saw in Justin's sideboard is Fulminator Mage.
He has 2.
Oh, I did. Okay, I must have missed it. So, yeah. I don't know, like this, for whatever reason, it just popped into my head. I was just like, man, he just doesn't randomly have Fulminator Mage. I can actually see that coming in if he's scared of the lands, because they're flyers, and he doesn't have a lot against flyers.
Right.
So, I mean, if he feels threatened by them, I could definitely see him bringing those in.
Yeah.
They're like a creature, so, like, they could, like, theoretically, like, block something and then blow up an important land.
Yeah, I mean, that seems
fine.
Decent, you know. Let's see. This hand looks like lands and spells for Justin, and he's going to ship it. It looked like way more lands. It looked like similar to the last hand.
Yeah, I think he had 2 treetop villages. I think those are the 2 lands that I saw at the beginning, and I'm like, that does not seem like where you want to be.
It looked like there was like 5 lands, 2 spells, and one of them was a lily.
No.
Which doesn't seem terrific.
No, it was good first game because Dakota was on a slower start, and because he only had the steel overseer, but like typically Hardened Scales has like, by the time you land Lily, especially on the draw, like 2 to 3 creatures at least.
Yeah.
It looks like Dakota's keeping his. I see another Hardened Scales, Ballista, Forest.
Does he have another land, or like is he relying solely on that?
No,
I
think I think he has another land,
okay.
And then he also has Arcbound Ravager.
Yeah, I mean that seems pretty
2
good.
2 Arcbound Ravagers actually.
This hand doesn't look much better for Justin over here. I just got a quick glimpse at it. I saw another Lily.
All right, yeah. So Dakota definitely has Canopy, Horizon Canopy.
Okay.
So he does have a second land at least.
Yeah, that's good. Means he can do stuff and things this turn.
Yeah,
right?
he can definitely start going. I think he's wondering if he wants to play the first Arcbound into like removal.
Okay.
All right, he's uninteresting. So he wants to see. He wants more options.
Let's see, I see a Darksteel Citadel. Another land. Is that Blinkmoth?
That is Blinkmoth.
A
yes.
forest?
No, that's Pendelhaven.
Oh, okay.
So he grabs
Darksteel Citadel.
Darksteel Citadel. Yeah. He probably doesn't have a third land, and I don't know if he has anything that cares about artifacts right at the moment besides Arcbound Ravager. But
okay. So I'm really curious as to why he would have played that turn. Because you know that Justin's on Jund now. Him taking Inquisition or Thoughtseize here, taking one of those Arcbounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I think you play the Ancient Stirrings this turn.
Yeah, it would have been more mana efficient to play the 2-drop on turn 2.
Yeah.
Instead of just like a 1-drop and nothing.
Right.
So
I guess he was really like, man, I need this third land. And I guess the Ancient Stirring doesn't guarantee you the third land, but
doesn't
it kind of does because it's 5 cards.
Yeah, so you're like pretty pretty guaranteed to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game seems really weird. I don't know what's going to.
He just passed.
I think he's like shell shocked. He's like, man, I don't want to play my
make him discard.
Yeah, I don't want to put my dudes into a bunch of removal, but he's just not doing anything.
Yeah.
He has 2 dismembers in hand. Dakota does.
Huh. So he did bring him in.
He did bring him in. So he must have not wanted him to get any card advantage with the Bobs.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why he's like, all right, I'm just going to leave up mana to kill your Bobs and stuff.
You only have to leave one up, though. Really, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have black to pay for it. So
right, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe, okay, I guess he could just want to go for double Arcbound this turn, or Arcbound, does he have a Ballista in his hand?
Walking Ballista on 2.
Right.
Because of the Hardened scales.
Yeah, could be more with Arcbound, but... So he's going to go to 19 here to use Horizon Canopy for mana.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, so he plays Walking Ballista on 2.
Ballista.
Okay. Well, 1 gets 2 from the Hardened scales.
Right. I think what's going to happen, probably, if Justin just goes, play my land, make you sack a dude, Dakota's going to go, all right, Arcbound, sack my Darksteel Citadel, and then let the ability resolve, sack my Arcbound Ravager, and put all the counters on the Ballista, and just try to go all in on this Ballista.
Yeah.
He has enough lands where, like, sacking one kind of doesn't matter.
Ooh.
But Ancient
Grudge here.
Yeah. And with leaving up mana to flash it back immediately.
Huh. This puts him in a little bit of a weird situation.
Yeah.
He's just going to sack this, put him on the Walking Ballista, and
then shoot you.
Then 5. Okay.
Probably
does he shoot Lily for 4 and then go to 1 to the face?
Yeah.
And then 1 to you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I mean, that doesn't seem like a bad play to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think would have been a decent decision to add the Darksteel Citadel into that?
It doesn't really change much.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it just adds an extra
1 damage.
1 damage.
Or, well, it's actually 2
2
damage.
because it's getting a counter and then it gets on Hardened scales. And
right.
Then, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that extra 2 damage to his face, but...
It's going to be draw.
Now he's, like, fine. And now, if that's his plan to draw, I think just keeping the land is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Justin has much anymore. It looks like lands and...
1 spell.
Is that another Liliana?
No. Green-black spell? I can't.
He keeps going too fast.
Too fast. Yeah, so I'm not sure. But he left up the Ancient Grudge mana. So, like, the first thing that Dakota plays is probably just dead.
Right.
Neither player is honestly looking in, like... from our view, in a very commanding position.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin is putting on this show of, I have the answer. Yeah. And I mean, that's what you do with Jund, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't, you just got to pretend you do, right?
Exactly.
Fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm. And, like, while he does have some answers, but he's, like, it almost seems like his hand's just like, like, I'm just going to answer everything all the time. And, like, I think Dakota's buying it. And, like, honestly, in that position, I probably would too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean...
He's done it so far. Yeah, so far he's like just completely handled the situation completely.
I mean, 4 cards in hand, it looks like, or is it 3?
3 cards.
For Justin, and I mean,
4 now because of the Steel Overseer that he just got off Stirrings.
No, for Justin.
Oh, for Justin. Sorry. Yeah. Now he's at 4.
Did you just draw Fulminator?
Yep.
Okay.
That's not good here, but it could be in the future.
Yeah. 4 mana. Okay. Activate. And gonna go to combat. Does he... So you don't think he fires off the Dismember there?
I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's like kind of representing that this is like his game plan now.
Yeah.
Like this is how
especially because he tapped out for it. And
yeah.
Now you're gonna put him back on 4 lands after he played his 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think he should have fired off the Dismember there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he might be
you're taking the same amount of damage.
Right. I think he might be tunnel visioning a little bit. Where he's like, man, if he just like slams a Bob after I play this Dismember, and then he just like gets a bunch of advantage, I'm gonna feel bad.
He has 2, doesn't he?
No, he discarded 1 to the Lily the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not see that earlier. I was like, wait, doesn't he have 2 in hand? So we still have Fulminator.
So he drew the Ink Moth, which in this position blind is good. But with Justin having the Fulminator in hand,
and he
fine.
plays it.
Yeah.
So
he's not having any of it. He's like, I'm not even going to give you the chance. Because, I mean, honestly,
play land.
Could. Like, if Justin's like, I'll wait a turn to deal with it, and Dakota goes exactly like Artifact, Arcbound Ravager, sack everything and kill you.
Yeah.
It could happen.
I mean, we saw it last week almost. I mean, he got it 2-9.
Oh, really?
Last week, and it was if he had drawn Darksteel Citadel as his land for turn instead of the forest he drew.
Yeah.
He just flat out won out of nowhere too.
Right.
Like his opponent had just such a commanding lead, and then like he's just like, oh, I'm gonna try this because I'm dead.
Right.
And he got it 2-9, and he was just like, man, if that land was just a Darksteel Citadel.
Yeah.
All right. So he's going to activate?
Yeah, he's kind of just baiting it. Probably, like, there's no point in, like, letting him keep a Fulminator Mage around.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm going to start doing stuff. Are you going to answer it?
Yeah. Makes sense. That was a pretty eventful turn. I mean...
Yeah.
So far, like
he just
right.
like
more counters.
Yep, he's just
more
like,
and more and more.
All right, we're gonna do that now. And the good thing is that since it's an artifact, the Ink Moth, if he attacks and like, say he just goes, all right, I'll just hit you for the poison damage, and then if Justin's like, all right, now I'll blow it up, he can just be like, all right, I'll sack it to the thing and get value off of it.
Yeah.
So he's probably like the best thing I think he could do right now would be to just nickel and dime him with Infect. Until he goes to answer it, and then he's just like, all right, I still get value.
Yeah. I mean, it seems fine.
Actually, what he could do, what Justin could do, which I think is the best option, would be to, once it goes back to Justin's turn, and he can't activate the Ink Moth to make it an artifact, then blow it up.
Yeah.
Then he can't sack it.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, he does have a Mox though. So he does have a mana, so he would be able to activate it.
So he's using this, and we're going to see where he puts the counters.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put them on Ink Moth.
Yeah, he's going to target it.
So I think Justin's lining here is let's force him to put these on there, and then go ahead and try to make him.
Yeah, he could have put the counters on the Steel Overseer.
Yeah.
And then. Like, he would have attacked, and then Justin would be able to, like, block with Fulminator Mage and then blow up the Ink Moth.
Right.
So it kind of leaves him in the same position, except he would have a Steel Overseer with, like, a bunch of counters on it. So I think that would have been the right play.
Yeah.
Because, like, he has a clear onboard answer to your Ink Moth.
Yep.
So there's, like, almost no point. Like, yeah, you're kind of, quote-unquote, like, making him blow it up, but he's going to do it anyway. And it's not like you making him do it is going to give you value.
Right. And he just drew a Liliana.
Seems good.
Yeah, seems real good. Dakota's got one card in hand, so...
if Justin doesn't do this right, though, Dakota could actually get him. If he goes play Liliana and immediately try to minus it, Dakota could be like, all right, I'll activate...
but then can't he respond with Fulminator?
Hey, you're right.
Yeah,
so
you're
right.
Here's what he does. So he minuses. If he goes to activate the Ink Moth, Justin goes Fulminator.
Yep, blow up your land.
Blow up your land, and then now the counters, where do they go?
Yeah.
But he sacked the Steel Overseer anyway.
Yeah, he saw it, so...
So now I think you just use the Fulminator anyway, right? Because where's he going to put the counters?
Okay, so here's the thing, which we didn't see before, which is why he's not doing that, right? He has a Welding Jar.
Oh.
To regenerate an artifact. So he can activate it in response to the Fulminator if the Fulminator tries to go first.
Oh, okay.
He can activate it, make it an artifact, and then regenerate it.
Makes sense.
Which is why Dakota has to be tapped out first, right? He has to like tap out to activate it, and then in response to that, right? So, but as long as he like has mana to like quote unquote reactivate it while the Fulminator is still on the stack, then he can regenerate it. So he's in an okay spot actually.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to read the card here.
Yep. This is animation module. It's a weird card.
Yeah, it's from Kaladesh?
Correct.
Yeah. I remember it being in a really weird deck.
Yeah, it was like a combo deck because like they were made to combo with each other.
It was infinite servos or thopters or something.
Servos. Yeah. Whenever you put one or more plus and counters on something, pay one, create a servo, and then for 3 mana you get to quote unquote populate something, or not populate. Proliferate. Sorry.
Proliferate. Yeah. I was like populate. What?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Mostly, it's just kind of like a secondary thing where you're like, all right, I'm making all these counters, and then you just also can kind of go wide.
Yeah.
And then I guess really late game, you can give something an extra counter if you have extra mana. You can just like 3 mana. Oops, my Ballista now has, instead of paying 4 mana to give it an extra counter, I'll pay 3 mana and give it an extra counter.
Yeah. So, what is Justin gonna do here? Because I'm pretty sure Dakota can just animate swing, and then if he sacks the Fulminator Mage, then you just use the Welding Jar.
Yeah, he needs to find a second answer to this land.
Yeah.
Which can't be Lily, because it needs to be an instant speed.
Yep.
Which it doesn't, like, you seem like Jund is the best deck to do that, but his hand doesn't seem super equipped for it from the last thing I saw.
Well, what does Justin have in hand?
Because
he's tapping something.
Maybe he drew Assassin Trophy and I didn't see it?
I think that might have been the black card in his hand.
Oh, the one we couldn't see?
Whole time. But
is he just next leveling us?
What is that? Is that a Terminate? It's a Terminate.
That's what it looked like now that you say that.
Yeah, no, I got a really quick glimpse of that art, and I was just like...
Yeah, I couldn't see it before because he was like shuffling super fast.
I knew it was some sort of black card, but it definitely looks like a Terminate, so it looks like Justin's fine here then? Because he casts the Terminate on the Ink Moth, right? And then he tries to activate Welding Jar.
Well, he can still do it. He can just like regenerate it, and then after all that's done, then blow it up.
Yep.
So he does have the 2 answers. That will leave Justin, or it will leave Dakota with basically nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he still has this board of stuff, though.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, it leaves Dakota with nothing. So he'll have to sack the Welding Jar, he'll have no land to animate, and then he'll have like all this random stuff.
Right.
But none of it does anything by itself. They're all like quote-unquote combo pieces.
Yeah.
Like Hardened Scales does nothing by itself. Mox Opal does nothing by itself, it's just mana. And then the animation module needs things to start doing things.
Yeah. So nothing from Dakota here now.
It's weird that he didn't even make him sacrifice the Fulminator Mage. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
Like because now we can just attack with the Fulminator Mage.
Yeah.
And leave with mana, or do both. Attack with both the Fulminator and the.
It says can't be regenerated on it.
Oh.
Does it really?
Really?
Oh.
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't come up very often. Regenerate is not a common thing in Modern.
Okay, so that's why he wasn't worried about that at all.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, there it is.
It can't be regenerated.
Can't be regenerated.
All right.
That actually came up not that long ago. I'm playing this really weird combo deck in Modern right now, and one of my creatures can regenerate, and somebody played a full art Terminate, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll regenerate it. And they're like, no, it says it can't be regenerated. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it's I don't play a lot of Modern myself, so it's that's something I never thought about.
Yeah, Terminate isn't like the most popular card anymore either. Like it used to be like the go-to, and then like Fatal Push came out, and it's like that's pretty much the same thing in this format.
I mean, you have Fatal Push, you have Assassin's Trophy, and
like Lightning Bolt.
The other black-green one that can't be countered.
Oh, Abrupt Decay?
Abrupt Decay. I could not think of the name for some reason.
Yeah, that hasn't seen a lot of play since Assassin's Trophy came out. I mean, it still does some.
Right.
That's more of a legacy card now because of the can't be countered.
Yep.
But all right, here we go. Dakota
Justin, Justin just takes it down.
It seems like Jund is a pretty decent matchup, or it's like pretty favored to win in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
unless the only thing is like unless Hardened Scales just like has like one of their like nut hands where they're just like, I play my artifact land, play like my 0-drop dude, my 1-drop, and my Mox Opal, tap my Mox or my Mox, and then just like like dump half their hand in turn 1, and then like 1 for